Now in this video, we would help understand how to identify a noun. This helps us solve various question formats which are based on sentence completion or fill in the blanks. Now we all know what a noun is. A noun is a place or a thing or an animal. So we have proper noun, common noun, collective noun, and abstract noun. Now let's try to understand how to find that in which blanks can we write a noun. Now, a noun is always followed by the articles a and the, or quantity words like some, a lot, or 10. So, for example, if you have a verb in your passage or in your conversation which uses the verb form of fight, which is fighting, you will have to go back to the question and see what you need. It's a dash. That means I need a noun in my fill in the blank. So automatically I'm going to change the verb form into its noun form, which is fight. Okay, now the second point is that noun can be pluralized. Uncountable nouns do not have a plural form. For example, work and water. You cannot write waters and works. You can say book and books, but water and work remains the same. You can use it with quantity words like any or some. For example, please give me some water. So please do some work for me. Okay, now next point is it can be used in the pattern article plus adjective plus noun. For example, you can say a piece of information. You cannot say a information. You can say the information when it becomes definite, or you can say a piece of information. Now, for example, is the word dance a noun? We know dance as a verb, but it depends on the usage again. It can directly follow articles or quantity words. The dance was held on Saturday, which means I'm talking about some specific dance. That is why I'm using the article the, which is definite. Now this can be pluralized. The dances were fast and complicated. So which means I'm probably referring to some specific dances. It can be used in the pattern article plus adjective plus noun, which means the graceful dance. Now here in all these, dance is a noun, whereas dance can also be used as a verb. Now the second method is by knowing typical endings of the words that identify nouns, adjectives, or adverbs. The students can improve their vocabulary quickly and easily. This will also greatly improve the reading comprehension. Now, what does this mean? You have a verb which is link, but if I have to change it to the noun form, it will be linkage. Similarly, play can be changed to player, dictate can be changed to dictator, please can be changed to pleasure. So, pleasure is my abstract noun, whereas others are my common nouns. So your adverbs often end in ly, but some words can have the same form for different parts of speech. For example, when you say fast, it is both an adjective and adverb. You cannot say fastly. It is fast in adverb also, like she runs fast. Or, she's a fast runner. So when you say fast runner, the fast is adjective, but when you say she runs fast, fast is adverb. So in this case, I don't need an ly to make it an adverb. Unlike few words like intelligent, intelligently. Intelligent is adjective and intelligently is an adverb. Now, let's take an example of few typical endings which are used for nouns. Independence, justice, happiness, division, finance, government, neighborhood, freedom, hesitancy, parity, felicity. Okay, then assistant, participant. You could pause the video and go through all these words in detail because this is what you get to read when you're going through passages. Okay, now how do you identify using the third method? You have to look at a word whether you can multiply or divide into smaller parts, which means it is countable. Then it's probably a noun. For example, book, you can count. So therefore, all the countable nouns are also nouns. All the countable things are also noun, like computer. Yes, you can imagine one computer and 100, so it's probably a noun. Similarly, your pronouns can be learned as a not very long list, unlike nouns. There are enormous numbers of nouns. Now if you imagine a word water, so imagine a huge amount of water. So can you multiply or increase? No, it's an uncountable noun. So water is also a noun, but uncountable noun. So you can probably understand what a noun is. Something which you can count is a countable noun. Something which you cannot count is an uncountable noun. Okay. Now, for example, silly in he's a okay, he's a little bit silly is quantified as small amount as opposed to he's enormously silly, in which his silliness is a much larger amount. So if you see, he's enormously silly. Now here, this parts of speech is different from he's a little bit silly, and if you see these words bit and enormously is they are used to quantify how much silly, right? So this also defines the quantity of your of his silliness. Okay, now let's understand what a noun phrase or a noun clause is. What is a phrase? A group of words which have no subject, no predicate, and no meaning. For example, in the shower, it has no subject, no predicate, there's no meaning. So, group of words that serve the purpose of a noun, where there is no subject or predicate and no meaning, is called a noun phrase. Similarly, a noun clause, it's a group of words that serve the purpose of a noun. There is a subject and a predicate, and it may or may not have any meaning. For example, when you look at this sentence, the girl is wearing a red dress, this is a complete meaningful sentence. But suppose if you skip writing the word is and you say the girl wearing a red dress. Now this has become an incomplete sentence. The girl wearing a red dress. Okay, what about her? So I have to add few words to make it a complete meaningful sentence. The girl wearing a red dress is beautiful. Now as you can see, the girl wearing a red dress whole is a group of words. It has a subject girl, it has a predicate, but is it meaningful? No. So it's a noun clause, right? So now when I say the girl wearing a red dress is beautiful is a complete sentence. Now, what exactly is a noun? A noun is a word, a single word, or a group of words that answer my question who, what, which. For example, if I say who is beautiful, the girl wearing a red dress is beautiful. So, which means a group of words that will answer my questions about who, what, which could be a single word, could be a group of words, and that will act as a noun. Okay, now let's take a look over method 4. If you can modify the word with an indefinite article, which is the, this, these, then the word must be a noun. For example, these people. Okay, so here these is my these is my adjective because it is modifying the word noun. But if I write something like would you get these to my house? Now this these is a pronoun which is referring to a noun because it is not coming with the noun. What is a pronoun substitution test? It is sometimes posited that a good test to see if an item is a noun to see whether it can be grammatically replaced with a pronoun. So although nouns will often be replaceable with pronouns, more often than not in declarative statements. For example, if I say to err is human, so I ask myself a question, what is human? To err. So to err is a noun, but it is a phrase. And I can replace it with a pronoun, it. I don't like that you always take the window seat. I don't like it. So what is it? So basically this whole group of words is a noun phrase that you always take the window seat. So it is basically serving the purpose of a noun. Similarly, I'm worried about him eating all the strawberry ones when I'm not looking. So I'm worried about it. I'm worried about what? So this whole is serving the purpose of a noun. So none of the items that have been replaced by the pronoun it here is a noun. So when I talk about here is a noun, I am talking about a single word, a noun, as a subject or an object. So what I mean to say is that these words are basically a noun phrase or a clause. They're not a single word noun. And these whole group of words is replaced by a pronoun it. So notice as well that pronouns don't replace nouns if the noun has dependence. When we substitute a phrase with a pronoun, the entire noun phrase goes, and even your modifier, the terminals and complements too. So as you can see, with the with few phrases, noun phrases, they cannot be replaced by pronouns. So if I say 3 miles away from here, so if I say I live 3 miles away from here, then I cannot replace it with a pronoun. I live there, where, 3 miles away from here. So if I say I live there, it's an incomplete, meaningless sentence. So I cannot replace these group of words or a phrase with a pronoun. Similarly, 2 days late, or the day before yesterday, I cannot replace these words by pronouns. Okay, now let's go back to the method 5. The item being replaced may not be a noun. Furthermore, nouns can often not be replaced by at all depending on their syntactic role. Now, what is syntactic? The grammatical arrangement of words. So, as you can say, in declarative, sentences, any item in subject function will be able to be replaced by a pronoun, whether it's a noun or not. So, which means, coming back to the example, the girl wearing a red dress. So, this whole thing is going to be replaced can be replaced by a pronoun. The girl wearing a red dress is beautiful. So I can say she's beautiful, but then I should know whom is she indicating to. So I hope the concept of noun identification got clear. You understood few concepts related to this. You have to be very careful. You have to remember few things, that an article is always followed by a noun. A noun should always answer your questions who, what, which, whether it's a single word or a group of words. You know, if it serves the purpose of a noun and answers my question, it is a noun, be it a single word or a phrase or a clause. So that was a summary of the entire video. This could help you answer a lot of questions in the fill in the blanks question format. Thank you.